Well, here we are, the video I never thought I'd get to make and never thought I'd have to. And first I just want to thank you for all the local support. Enormous amount of people who are in the wings watching, send me little messages. I never see them on social media, but they're there. They write to me. I get maybe 20 or 30 requests every week for information. Not that I'm a source of information, but I get stuff like a lot of us do. But I thought I'd do this first one just to introduce myself to you so you know who I am. It's the face. It's for radio, this face. But anyway, my name's Herbert Robert William Hennis. Proudly I say it too. Most people know me as Owen Reed, and they know me as Owen Reed because that's the name the government put on my birth certificate when they changed it way back in 1962. Illegally, unconstitutionally, I fought it, still fighting it now. I've got a team on it at the moment. The ABC had a go for me and they failed miserably because they can't change your birth certificate. It's the only document that says who you are, but that's another story. We won't even get into that. So I was adopted at the far south coast, a little town called Bermagui, just outside Bermagui at Beauty Point, to a family, upright members of the community, fishing, golf, pub, club, all that stuff. But I was their dirty little secret, I really was. And out in that little house in the bush, I suffered the most horrendous abuse, physical abuse on a scale, dear, mental abuse and sexual abuse that today would have them in jail. But my uncle, who was my adopted mother's brother, found out about the abuse just before I turned 13, right in those formative years, and he took me from that home and placed me with a family in town, people he knew. And that's where I finished my schooling, growing up there like that. But I was circling like a little satellite. I had nowhere to land. I was in enormous pain, and I had nothing I could do with it all. I just couldn't figure it all out. So I discovered drugs and alcohol, and they became my panacea, I guess. Not that I'd recommend it, I'm just saying. But they stopped my head. I'd had an attempt on my life and failed. And so drugs and alcohol stopped me thinking. Now, years later, I ended up in church, which got me off drugs, and then years after that, I ended up in life, which got me off church. And now I've circled all the way back. After 60 odd years, it's taken me to get on my feet. And love you, Joe. She's the pillar. But anyway, we're now facing what would be the most difficult time in this generation's history. It really is. It's like the World War of 37. Yeah, they were talking about the war and nobody believed that Germany would invade, blah, blah, blah. And here we are. And this has now become the biggest divisive movement in the world's history. And the same agenda is being copied in every country all over the world. There's no difference. And people can't see it. They go, ooh, because we're not told about it. Same protocols, same agenda in every single country. But there's some wonderful court cases going on. Amazing court cases right around the world, from The Hague, right through the US, to the UK, and here in Australia. And the fight is joined, let me tell you, the fight is joined. And darkness will always be revealed by light. So in the end, we win. I'm telling you, we win. That's a given. Now, the awful part about that is between now and then, the suffering is going to be horrendous. Now I'm old. I don't care about my life anymore. I don't care. People think I'm a mad, tinfoil hat wearing idiot. That's fine. But they've never sat and talked to me. They've never had a cup of coffee and a beer. They've never tried to get any other information or have a chat with me. They've never done that. It's just an opinion. That's all that is. I don't care about that anymore. I'm way past that. It's too late to care. It's too late. I don't care if they cancel everything about me. Social media, my license, my registration, put me in jail. I seriously no longer care. I don't care. Because if I don't do this, and if we all don't do this and stand up, then really we're letting down the side. That's how I feel. Thanks, Sarah J. Holman. You're just amazing. Now, I'm I'm a guy who loves studying. That's what I love to do. I love fishing. I love golfing. Trust me, I could golf 8 days a week. Well, that's really all I want to do. I never wanted to do any of this stuff. I'm not anybody. I don't have any tickets on myself. I don't think I'm somebody. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. You know, and then we end up with guy eats bat, world stops. And people go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, hang on, it was pangolins. Ooh, was it really? Yeah. And Christ's sake, never made sense from the start. Never, you know, the whole radar went off way back then. And here we are now, 2 years later. God's sake, what a mess. So we're heading into a really dark period. We can't avoid it. We really can't. I'm sorry to tell you. But I do know that in the end, we will win. That's a given. For a new world to be created, the old one has to totally be abolished. And all this evil will be exposed. And when you do see the truth finally, to all you other people out there who just think I'm an idiot, when you see the truth, you'll feel ashamed. You'll be humiliated at what you've accepted and believed all those years. But I won't be here pointing my finger at you and saying, I told you so. No. If I'm still around, then I'll... If I'm still around... If I'm still around, I'll be here to hold your hand. I'll be here to hold you up. I'll be here to support you in any way I can. That's the truth. That's the honest to goodness truth. Because I don't blame you. See, my first video, I'm going to explain why I don't blame you. And I'll do that video next week, and I'll explain what I think of you people who've complied and capitulated. And it's not what you think. It's not what you think. So thanks for watching. A small introduction. I hope it's not too long. And I'll hopefully see you next week if you want to. Or it might be just Joe watching. Hey, Joe. You'd be the only one. I don't know. Thanks, guys.